Howdy. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a Grendel build. This is a pretty straightforward build. Honestly, there's not much depth to it. I thought about doing like a Grendel max investment, but honestly, it's kind of pointless because you don't need max investments. Like, most of the stuff in your total loadout or kit is completely meaningless because Grendel does so much damage on his own that it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's a thing because he's Big Daddy Jinpachi. Anyways, we should go to the simulacrum so I can begin explaining why this monster of a man is so good. Onwards. So, now that we're in the simulacrum, before I talk about Grendy Wendy, quickly appreciate this fashion, would you? I mean, it's not as close as I would like, but I just kind of tried to make him look like Shockwave from Transformers, like the OG Transformers, because Shockwave is awesome, and if you disagree, then you're objectively wrong. I said so. Grendy. First off, if you put a helmet ability on Grendel, you are playing him wrong because that's boring. Grendel's passive. Each enemy consumed grants 250 bonus armor, basically enemies in his stomach. Now let's go over real quick how all of his abilities work, just for the uncultured people that don't understand. And I'm going to dumb this down just so it's easier to understand, and because honestly, you don't really need to know all of the ins and outs. It's pretty straightforward. 1, eat enemy. 2 is nourish. Literally the same as the helmet version for the most part, except A, it heals you on Grendel, and B, you have to have an enemy in your stomach to use it. It does damage to one of the enemies in your stomach. 4, spit everything back out, or spit one enemy out, and it does damage based off of how much HP they have left. So, if they have less HP, it does less damage. And the order in which you spit enemies is the middle first, and then top right, bottom left, okay? Middle, up, right, down, left. It's not always going to matter, but knowing that order can help. And your third turns you into a meatball, and then you run around playing pinball in Warframe. Very entertaining. And this is the main thing we care about, because it's funny. And normally people subsume this off for like a roar or something. If you wanted maximum damage output, roar would be significantly better. But we're going to be doing so much damage that that's pointless. And why the hell would we go roar when we have a meatball? We can't get rid of his 1 because that's integral to his kits. We can't get rid of his 2 because so is that. That's huge viral application and it's our energy sustain. Can't get rid of his 4, that's all of his damage. So that leaves his 3. But if you get rid of his 3, that's not so entertaining. Now, he is extra broken because of an augment that he just got. And by just got, I mean it's actually not brand new now, but he got it with the Kome update. Gastro. Regurgitated enemies bounce up to 3 times, creating gas clouds that last 8 seconds and inflict nearby enemies with gas status effect. Gastrosis, or Regurgitate, is his 4th ability. The gas clouds don't actually do a lot of damage. The main reason this does a lot of damage is that the 4th bounces, so it goes from 1 hit to bouncing 3 times, meaning it has theoretically 4 times the damage, because in what I can tell, there's no damage fall off. Every single hit has a guaranteed toxin proc, and that toxin proc is where a lot of your damage comes from. It's a huge ass toxin proc. We don't care about strength all that much because strength doesn't determine our damage. The enemy's HP does most of the time. It has armor strip. That is important for strength. If we don't have high enough strength, we can't fully armor strip, which is something we want, but we don't have to hard invest into it. We do want very high range, though, for big nuking power. Prime Flow for energy max. You can go Arcane Battery instead, but I found it inconsistent. Catalyzing Shields and Brief Respite for lots of survivability because we're spamming our abilities all the time, and he has a very low shield gate. Though if you don't want to shield gate on him, that's totally fine. He can health tank just fine because he gets really high armor and HP. I just wanted to not have to worry about this if I run this in like a Void Cascade, which is what I was planning on doing. So, you know, whichever floats your boat more, run with that. Catapult, this is optional. It's an augment that can go in his X list that lets you press triangle while in his 3rd ability, the meatball, and it sends you flying. So I just press triangle and all of a sudden I go Mach fucking speed. It's beautiful. I very much enjoy it. Then back here, we have, of course, Gastro the augments, Equilibrium to give us lots of energy because we do want to not have horrible energy consumption. Transient Fortitude, we lose a bit of duration, which is a little sad for Nourished. That means we have to recast it more often, but 30 seconds is still fine. And it gives us Strength. This combined with Molt Augmented after getting enough kills will make it so we can still fully Armor Strip on Regurgitate. Energize for even more energy. And I know this seems like overkill to have Nourish, Equilibrium, and Energize, but I do actually run out of energy sometimes. So I want to make sure that happens as least, or not often, okay? I'm bad with words. I don't want that to happen a lot. Overextended and Stretch for lots of range because, you know, big nukes. And Archon Continuity instead of Prime Continuity, it doesn't really matter. I mean, having an extra corrosive proc doesn't really matter at all, but it's also there, so might as well, even if it's just 1% better. It's only taking up 1 extra mod capacity. Might as well. I just said that like 4 times. We have Unero because why not? Poise gives us knockdown resistance. We are immune to knockdown in our ball, but if we end up getting out of our ball to pick something up for like an objective, it's annoying, but I don't want to run Prime Sure-Footed because I like the augment. So we're just running Unero, which is fine. Zenrik doesn't really work because we're consuming energy, so most of its stuff is not valuable. Naramon doesn't work because we're not using a melee. Madrai is kind of pointless. And Vazarin is too because we're already almost immortal. Meaning all we really need is Uneru. Then for weapons, they don't matter. Literally none of his weapons matter. He can kill acolytes, he can kill enemies, he doesn't die, and we're going to be sitting in his meatball. So it's completely irrelevant. I don't even know if movement speed or parkour velocity affects it. I could be wrong. If it does, just run like Praetos or something. I've got Telos Boltus on right now for the parkour velocity. Completely irrelevant. Just slap on whatever. If you feel like he somehow doesn't do enough damage to an acolyte, which I don't struggle with, though you could run like Strun and Karnon or whatever if you feel like it. The companion, though, that is something we can do something funny with. And with that, we are going Shade Prime. In the Kome update, we got a change to the Ghost Precept mod. What it states is Cloak's owner, when enemies are within 24 meters, the cloak is disrupted if owner attacks. This is only disrupted if we attack with a weapon. Abilities do not break this, though exalted weapons do count as weapons and they break it. But normal abilities don't break this. However, if you leave the radius of enemies, like if you're within radius of an enemy, like 24 meters, and then you go and you're 30 meters away from the closest enemy, it used to break instantly, which was annoying because it then goes on a 15-second cooldown. Alas, we're big chillin' now because they gave you a 3-second grace period. If there's no enemy within 24 meters, you still get 3 seconds of invis, and then if an enemy enters that 24 meters, it continues. Beautiful. That combined with Manifold Bond to help reset the cooldown if we do get screwed up gives us lots and lots of invis. So we're an invisible meatball of death roaming around everywhere. Guardian because we can, Momentous because we can, Duplex because we want priming. Shade cannot attack while it is invis even if you put on the Assault Mode mod. So we can't prime with it directly. But Duplex Bond can attack, and you don't need the Assault Mode for the Duplex Bond guys to attack, so no Assault Mode, get that out here, disgusting. Duplex Bond is doing all of the work. We already have Viral, so that's not needed. We already have Armor Strip and everything, that's not needed. We're not doing like heat stuff, so I just go Verglass because it works. So I would suggest running a Verglass with something like this to spread cold procs everywhere because freezing is nice. And that's it for the build. Very straightforward. Oh yeah, I forgot Archon Shards. Because we have a massive Toxin proc DOT on our 4th ability, we have 5 green Tauforge Shards for Toxin status damage. That is a lot. That is a lot of damage. It's 225% multiplicative damage. We're doing more than triple the damage with those Toxin procs now. Big damage. And if I reset these guys, simulates, and I gobble gobble this guy right here, do this, and then blurp, then they're all gonna die. And that was with the, oh wait, no, I did have Nourish active. I'm dumb, but you get the point. Lots and lots of damage. Let's go into a Netracell and show this off. Even though this isn't max investment, I think that's the best place to show this. So onwards into the Netracell we go. Here we are in the Netracell already. Isn't that insane? I absolutely hate my life. I ran out of ciphers, and so I have to manually hack everything now, and that gives me crippling depression because it takes so much longer than just pressing the triangle button. But I digress. These guys, they don't stand a chance to Big Meatball Man. He's very, very juicy. I hope I make Big Daddy Grendel main Watermelon proud with this video. He better be. He's the one that gave me. Wait, no. He gave me Lavos. No. Mats gave me Grendel. Grendy Wendy and all of his beautiful power. Oh, I need to be careful to not die because dying is bad. And we don't like doing that. And we need to go into our meatball. There we go. See, now we just run around and we kill everything. And we shouldn't have to really worry about dying because we're invisible and we're tanky as fuck. And if you're invisible and you're tanky and you have a crazy shield gate and you die, then you probably suck ass at the game and should seek therapy immediately for the emotional damage I just did to you. Ooh, look at that. Nightwave Dawn. Oh, and look at that. The Netromite spawned directly on us, so it died instantly to the delicious... Oh, fuck. What's that augment called? The Gastro Bounce Explosions. I guess maybe it died to the fucking upfront explosion. Whatever it may be, it died, and that's all we care about. Grendel's very much worth trying. He wasn't bad before, but he did have problems. The main one being enemies die too fast in your stomach because it doesn't cleanse them with status effects. It deals true damage of 2% of their HP every second. So if they have a bunch of viral, which Nourish exists, so of course they're going to have a bunch of viral, you're going to eat them way too quick. And when the enemy's HP determines how much damage you have, because it's enemy current HP, not enemy max HP. So if you spit out an enemy that's 1 HP, it's going to do almost no damage, which is an issue. But the Gastro Augment fixes that, sort of. It both does and doesn't. It doesn't fix it directly. It fixes it indirectly. Because of all of the bounces it does for more damage, we do so much damage that even if we spit out an enemy that's got like 0 HP when we spit them, it's still going to kill everything. So that's why it fixes it, but also doesn't fix it. Kind of a band-aid augment, to be perfectly honest, which is really what most of the augments are in this game. I love DE, but please, come on, DE. Can you stop giving us band-aid augments? I'm kind of sick of it. Just fix the frames. Make the frames not suck to begin with, and then you don't have to release a band-aid augment. Or instead of releasing a band-aid augment, just make it part of the frame's inherent kit. I don't know. I don't know. Bit of a tangent, but oh well. Just my thoughts on that. Hopefully one day they stop doing the band-aid augment treatment for everything and its mom, but for right now, we unfortunately have to deal with that. Now die, you stupid Netromite. Delicious. Look at this. And then I go super speed. I'm fast as fuck. I'm like a meatball version of Goss. If you don't think this is fun, then why? Why do you even exist? This is fun. And if it's not fun to you, then you are not cultured. Am I being a tad bit aggressive? Yes. Do I regret it? No. Do I like cheeseburgers with onions? Absolutely. I don't know how that's relevant, but I just kind of had it pop into my head, so I figured I'd share with the class. Look at that. We do have one of the debuffs where we lose energy per second with enemies nearby. So that is affecting our energy economy, but we almost ran out of energy. We're pretty low on energy right now. That's why I run Energize, because it just helps. And I really don't want to run out of energy ever, because if I do, I'm kind of screwed. Forces me out of meatball form. Can't cast like Nourish or any ability at all for A, damage, and B, shield gating. You can still stay invisible as long as you don't start shooting your guns, because shade exists. but I still would prefer not to run out of energy. Because it's not really useful to just exist if you're not doing anything. Are you really helping your teammates if you're just sitting there invisible hoping that energy drops sometime within the next 12,000 years? Not really, no. If I saw Blueberry doing that, I'd probably be like, damn, that Blueberry needs to suck my asshole, and every day that ends with Y. I probably wouldn't like say that in a game chat. I'm far too nice and benevolent of a person, but I would definitely say that to my friends I'd be in a party with. 100%. I'm totally yapping at this point, but hey, that's what the gameplay portion is for. It's for you to watch me suffer while I yap so that you also suffer. It's fair. It's a completely fair trade. We're just going to go to extraction now so you don't watch me get the loot. Back to the orbiter. That's going to do it for the Grendel video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the meat man himself gobble up stuff, spit it back out, and then have like, what's that? Gastrointestinal pain, something like that. Very, very intense, to say the least. And then if you die, you basically just die of dysentery because you shat yourself horribly. That's definitely what dysentery is, 100%. Very fun frame, kind of overkill to have these shards. You don't need them, but they are funny for more damage, so you should do it anyways. Give this man a shot. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe, and if you want to support me, then maybe become a channel member. Oh, whoa, adios.